President Trump says he knows what the mystery drones are, but will he tell us? Well, let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, at last, Trump answers a point blank question about the mystery drones. Let's see what he has to say.
I wanted to ask you about drones. We had the issue in New Jersey before the election where there are all these people thought UFOs or an attack of the killer drones. And I believe you're doing something about.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I know who. I can't tell you who it was and what it was, but yeah. I can't really tell you. I'd love to tell you actually, but it's not a big deal.
It's not something frightening.
No, but I just, so obviously it's something that I know about, and it's not a problem at all.
It was legal.
Oh yeah, that was legal.
I wanted to ask you about drones.
Okay, let's break that down a little bit. It was legal. These FAA approved drones or craft or whatever they are. I'm assuming he's sticking with the FAA approved narrative here. That are shutting down airports and military installations, not just in the U.S., but around the world. I've done multiple videos talking about how they are forcing the closure of airports temporarily around the world because of unsafe air conditions. And this has happened again and again and again, all over the place, in China, in Italy, and Turkey. It's nuts. So what are these things that are clearly not FAA approved craft? It's not a big deal, Trump says. He knows what they are. So he's sticking with the same line he did before. I wish there had been a follow-up question, talking about some of this stuff, the closing down, for example, of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base because of these mystery drone incursions. Clearly, that was not FAA approved. The forcible relocation of military jets from one base to another because of the mystery drone incursions. Clearly not legal FAA approved stuff. So what's he lying about? What do presidents in the government always lie about? Anomalous stuff, right? If it was, Chinese or Russian, drone operators, well, there was a Chinese drone operator that was arrested just a few years ago, and they proudly arrested him and talked about him in front of the media. When they catch, a spy or somebody like that, they're happy to report on it. Makes them look good. Our tax dollars are going to the right place. So they don't lie about stuff like that, although I'm sure they do cover up some of the scarier stuff so as not to alarm the public. But I'm not buying that explanation in this particular case with this global phenomenon that is doing all of this. So what is behind the mystery drones? Well, Tulsi Gabbard has some comments about that, or indirectly. Let's see what Tulsi Gabbard has to say.
And the New Jersey, the strange objects over New Jersey were drones.
I still have a lot of questions around that.
Yeah.
I've heard what the public official line is. I just personally still have a lot of questions that are unanswered.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just New Jersey. It was happening in different parts of the country.
Oh, really?
It sure was, Tulsi. Well, I hope you continue to be curious about this. I hope you continue pushing for answers. If you are pushing for answers, we certainly need them. They are not forthcoming yet from any official source. But if you remember this story, mystery drones were harassing the Coast Guard.
The Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water.
Yeah, so totally FAA approved craft, right? And these things are weird. There was a case where police officers had been called out because there was a drone stuck in a tree, a mystery drone stuck in a tree. And it was their job to keep their eyes on it until somebody else came out to retrieve it. The Men in Black, firefighters, whoever was going to get this thing down from the tree and cart it off somewhere, possibly never to be seen again. But We do have a video potentially of this object. I don't know if this has ever been corroborated as that object from that police report, but it's the only drone video or the only other case, the only case that I know of a drone stuck in a tree. So this might very well be that object. Whatever that crazy thing is that, what is that? Some are saying it's like an organic life form or some sort of cell or something. Some are saying, it's clearly a technological, drone of some sort. It makes me think of all those cases where these mystery drones were apparently orbs of light before transforming into, conventional drone-like structures. Is that what an orb looks like, or did an orb turn into that before turning into a mystery drone? The resolution of this case was that the drone that police officers were watching until the firefighters or the men in black or whoever showed up to retrieve it, it vanished in front of their eyes. So yeah, FAA approved, nothing to see here craft. So yeah, so clearly there is something to see here, something very exotic, something very anomalous that's not just targeting U.S. installations, but targeting, global airports, around the world, trying to make their presence known globally. They're decked out like Christmas trees. They're pursuing Coast Guard ships. They are trying to get noticed. So who is behind it? Chinese and Russian spies would not be doing this. There wouldn't be thousands of these things, and we would have some answers by now. And the government has said flat out that they are not, in fact, foreign operatives doing this.
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
Okay, so not foreign, not military. What are they?
What are you doing?
Well, I know I can't tell you who it was and what it was, but
Yeah.
I can't really tell you. I'd love to tell you actually, but it's not a big deal.
Okay, now that was a potentially interesting slip of the tongue. He says it's not up to, and then he says it's not a big deal. So is he saying it's not up to him? Is that what he was about to say? There is some higher authority in charge of this? Well, of course, if we're talking about the UFO Control Group has been working with beings for a long time. Now, according to the Project Preserve Destiny information from the Italian journalist, Trump has commandeered part of the UFO Control Group. He is now in charge of it directly instead of it being, orchestrated out of the Pentagon, if that information is correct. For some reason, he has decided to get direct oversight of the UFO programs. Now, I would love to see some corroboration on that. Gary Nolan came out with his story about being threatened by the White House. However, Chris Sharp's article about how, bureaucrats in the executive branch, throughout multiple administrations, permanent officials in the executive branch, about how they have a lot to do with shaping, the executive branch's involvement with the UFO Control Group. Well, that throws a possible doubt into the idea that it was Trump or his people directly that were threatening Gary. It could have been these unnamed, shadow government, deep state guys, per Chris Sharp's article. But if the Project Preserve Destiny information story is correct, then Trump is directly overseeing part of the UFO Control Group. I imagine that's some of the government parts of the UFO Control Group, not the Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop, Battelle parts of the UFO Control Group. But it was a president on an Air Force base, a government base, President Eisenhower, who supposedly met with beings back in the day. So whatever part of the UFO Control Group is working with the beings, at least part of that, that involvement is through the government aspects of the UFO Control Group, if indeed any of those Eisenhower meeting with alien stories is legit. Is it legit? I would love to know. Either way, I know this response from Trump is highly interesting, that he may not be the ultimate authority in being able to provide disclosure on the mystery drones and potentially UFOs as a whole. It's not up to him. It's up to them. Which raises an interesting question. If any of that is true, and the mystery drones represent some party trying to get the attention of some other party and making their presence known to that party and getting some sort of message across, could it be one faction of NHI trying to deliver a message to another faction of NHI that is working with the UFO control group? Just throwing that out there, guys. Let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really do appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.